Hey, what's going on, guys? It's KDZen with KBMOD.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at RPG Maker MV, the newest RPG Maker. Now, I spent a lot of time in RPG Maker VXA, so the previous version. I have about 200 hours in that, and there are a bunch of new improvements in RPG Maker MV, namely an unrestricted higher resolution and the ability to play with touchscreen and thus import to your mobile devices, and also to play it on a browser. And I figured, what better way to demonstrate what the engine can do than to make a game and show it off. So this is Barn Door Quest, and in Barn Door Quest you play, so Brandon has actually had his perfect grammar stolen from him, and through the course of the game he will, go through, I won't spoil anything here, but he will try to get his grammar back, and so I figured, I just toyed around, I put this together. This game is definitely far from finished. I only have one mission available, kind of. So let me get this mouse out of here and let's go ahead and begin. Now keep in mind, everything you're going to see was put together with absolutely no scripting. It's very, very easy to use RPG Maker, and it's very easy. It's a very open-ended, capable software to make the ideas that you have. So I was able to put this together with RPG Maker MV. So this is Brandon. This is Barn Door. He's a level 1 Twitch staff. He's got memes, which are skills. The idea I had for memes, well, right now he only knows timeout because he's a Twitch staff, but the idea I had for memes was that over the course of the game you'll buy Steam sales, and you'll get games like Modern Warfare 2, and once you play that you'll learn the meme quickscope, and that'll be another skill you can use in battle. Now, as we know, Brandon is a robot, and so he can equip different kinds of computer parts. Graphics cards can be used for like attack, processor for agility and speed, and then a case for defense and, his defensive purposes. His weapons, only like keyboard and mice. Keyboards are slower, but they hit harder, and mice hit less, but they're much faster. Go figure. Clothes, just a purple Twitch shirt. I know right now he's in the suit, that famous Fudge Witch's picture is from. But yeah, let's go and go around. I actually made a tutorial event here that's actually right in front of him so that you have to go through it. So Brandon's house. Return to your bed to save the game. At your computer, you can check your email for new quests, order parts for your computer, and buy games to learn new memes. And so, one thing that I should notice right off the bat is that there's no save button in this menu, and this is an alternate menu that I used with the plugin, and I'll show you how to use that too. Once I finish this episode, I'm going to go back into the engine and show how I accomplished all this to give you guys an idea of what you'll be doing in RPG Maker MV. So I have save disabled from the menu because I only want the player to be able to save at a bed. So, would you want to save your game? Yeah, and then, well, that's the file I did for like an earlier test purpose, but we can go around here. Some of you longtime KBMOD fans will remember the mirror, Brandon's famous mirror. And so, I think I might actually take this part out, but this is a pocket looking glass, which I used with a common event, which is something that, is from other RPG Maker games that you'll be familiar with. So yeah, I just used the looking glass, and I can warp back to the mirror at any time. But I'm not sure. I think I might want to move that somewhere. Yeah, let's look at our computer. Handsome rig, perfect for llama grabbing at max settings. And so from our computer, we can read our email to accept quests, but we have no new messages. We can check our Steam sales, but there's nothing good on sale at this time. We can order PC parts, but PC part picker, oh, I have to change that. I think that's copyrighted. I'll go and change that. This game isn't released, you can't sue me. But yeah, nothing's really available yet because we just started. So let's go downstairs, and there's one other thing in Brandon's house that we can do, which is with his wife, Hillary. Now, I should say that I actually didn't ask Brandon for permission to use his likeness in this game, so if you don't see any more videos from me on KBMOD, then this is the reason why. So the idea I had with Hillary is that, as a wife, she will ask you to, buy groceries, for example, or do chores, buy her gifts, and her bond will grow. Your bond with Hillary will grow as you do she asks, but you might end up with less money. Think of it as like the little sisters from BioShock. Like, if you do the right thing, you'll get less Adam, but you might be rewarded later, where Hillary might reward you for doing things for her later, or I could just neglect her, but have more money for myself. So let's go and talk to her. How did I sleep? Typical Brandon response. And so she gave us some money for groceries, and we're going to go to the nearby grocery in the hub world. And I'll show that in a second. I'm going to try and speedrun this, actually. Tutorial hometown. This is the idea I had for, the structure of the game is to, go out, do missions, come back, spend your money, then rinse and repeat. So I actually have an event set up to move the camera on its own, which I'll show. The general store where we buy clothes and healing items. The PC hardware store to, you know, weapons and, you know, the hardware to bump up stats. At the auto shop we can upgrade our car. And certain quests are at different areas, and we can't go to those areas until we upgrade our car. Now, if you're a Volition fan, this car will definitely look familiar to you. So the car, drive to different dungeons to accomplish quests, upgrade your car at the mechanic, blah blah blah. And quests can actually be repeated, which is like a mechanic that I wanted to put in, which is something I was able to do without any coding. And this is all through like a system of variables. Like, am I ready to set off? Yes, but I have no active quest, and there's a variable that will change once I have an active quest, and I'll show that too. These two shops actually don't have anything in them. The door is just a glitch. But this general store where we're going to buy our groceries, that's all we need for now. And what do you know? Our very own KBMOD member Hex is running this general store, which I have actually named Cuckmart. And so we're going to go ahead and buy the groceries to finish the quest with Hillary. But let's look around a bit. Notice how it's freedom. It's free for whatever your imagination you want to do. These tables, the things on the tables, the stuff in the back, another mirror, the trees. This was all simply drag and dropped, placed on here. It's very simple to do what you want. So I have the groceries now. So let's go ahead and return back to Hillary and give her the groceries. And I've set up an event here that once you have the groceries, your phone will go off and you have one new message: quest not available, shut down viewbot 1. So first, let's give her the groceries, open them up, and we actually got +5 thermal pastes because, you know, Brandon is a robot. He uses the pastes to, like, repair himself and gain HP. Go figure. Okay, so now let's go back to our room. Let's actually pointlessly use our looking glass to warp back to our room. And let's check our email. Read email. Mission 1, shut down viewbot. And this variable is changed because of, you know, I changed the variable in that earlier text that will make this quest available. Accept this quest, and now it's accepted. We're ready to depart. So let's go back to our car and let's get started. And so you'll see now that we have a quest accepted, our car will take us to whatever we need to go depending on what the variable is. There's the famous line. And here we are, quest 1, viewbot shut down. This is the house. The premise of this quest, which, you know, this quest right here actually lacks a bit of polish, which I'm definitely gonna, you know, expand on later. But the premise is you're raiding some poor pleb's house who's created some software that, you know, will viewbot streams where, you know, you've seen those services where they like bump up your view count if you know what I mean. So it's just an old, abandoned, battered down house, and we're actually gonna get encountered by a pleb any moment now because I've got it set up for random encounters. Actually, I'm gonna show off. No, I'll do that later. But we're walking around, and there we go. Actually, I don't have any music on right now, so yeah, there's the pleb. It's just a large, unkempt man, so we'll time him out. I'm going to try and finish this up as quickly as possible. I'm actually going to demonstrate the mouse controls. As you see right now, there's a new side view battle that's been added, so you don't need a script to do side view battles anymore, and they do look really nice. And so mouse controls, easy as clicking is where you want to go, and right clicking brings up the menu. It's like Z and X are just left and right click. It's very, very easy, very cool, but I haven't found a way to not dash, and I imagine this is how it'll work on mobile devices also. I do plan, once I finish this game, to release it on a web browser so that anyone can play it, but it's definitely a long time off. I've got some polish to do. Right now, for example, you see Barndor attacking with the sword, which definitely needs to be changed with the keyboard, which is something you can do if you upgrade your sprites. And that is my phone going crazy. Shut up. Sorry about that. Now that we have the key, we can go lower in to where the viewbot might be. It's a very technological sci-fi area. Get this mouse out of here. I keep moving the mouse. I'm not even sure if you can see it. Now this right here is something I'm going to explain later. It's a complicated series of events. I won't let you destroy my business. Hundreds of god-awful streamers given a shred of hope through an artificial view count for only $14.99 a month. Who are you to take away their happiness? You're about to get fucked. And so now that we've approached this area, he's going to walk slowly towards us, and we're going to fight Master Shitposter. Now, honestly, I'm very scared, because I didn't test out Master Shitposter, and I also didn't heal. I'm going to play it safe. He could potentially ruin our day. He knows a skill called DDoS, which is like a pillar of flame attacking you. Hopefully he doesn't do it. So let's see if we can time him out as much as we can. Right now, you know, the battle system isn't very... I'm going to play it super safe because I think I might get one shot. The battle system isn't very balanced for now, which... Oh god. Okay, 109. I have to... somewhere around that. And the attacks have like a bit of a variance to them, and you can switch that if you want to. Because the battle system, the stats, perfectly customizable. Oh shit. So you can balance it however you want, so you can put in whatever moves. This is a bit lazy. The timeout is a move called Spark, which I just renamed, increased the MP. I just wanted to throw something together to show you an example of what you can do. So, this guy will die any minute now. I don't know how much health he has. A ridiculous amount. I'm running out of thermal paste. Come on. And we only have 2 more times out. I think this is enough, though. No? Okay. Almost done. Sorry to keep you waiting. And there we go. Master Ship Poster has been slain. Got a sizable reward from that. We're now level 4. And now that he's gone, yeah, he's gone. Because we killed him. And I'll explain this whole event system later. What I plan to do after this is to make a series of videos explaining how to do certain things. And if you guys have anything you want to know, like a tutorial, let me know and I will demonstrate it to you. But here's the view bot. Let's go ahead and destroy it. Boom. You know, I was supposed to be a little flash to be an explosion, but it's kind of bad without being bright or having a sound effect. But the computer was destroyed. And the idea is that once you destroy computers, you can harvest their parts. Like, you know, the fictional brand of a GPX 300 graphics card. Mission complete, returning home. And now that we've returned home, the variables have reset, and if we want to accept it again, we can go back here. Obviously, this is going to be changed once I add more missions, but since this is incomplete, this is all we have at the moment. I also need to make it so that it heals you once you get back here. But that's, you know, that's the process of making a game, just going back, debugging all these things. But yeah, this is where we are right now for Barn Door Quest. Let's go ahead and save at our bed. And there we go. So now we're going to jump into the engine bit and I'll show you guys how I did certain things. So let's start at his room. This event right here, this is the event. You'll see this pop up a couple times, and you've got to set up the environment that they're going to touch this. These events, once you touch them, they're set up to display text for you. Now this is all, I cannot tell you enough how simple this is to do. It's as simple as double-clicking, show text, blah. You can make the window whatever dim or transparent, where you want to put it. You can preview what it looks like. It's so simple. You can do whatever you want. You can set it up with an action button to where I can't go past it until I press, you know, a button, but that's dumb because that would lock me into that part of the room for no reason. The idea is that as soon as you press a button, this is going to display, but we'll cancel this. The mirror is also... Now what's different is that we got the looking glass from here, and we don't, even though it's infinite use, we don't want to get looking glass after looking glass as we keep pressing it. So once we control self switch, which is an individual switch like for this event, and we make a new page that only turns on when self switch A is on, it'll be just that text instead of any more of that. But yeah, I'm not going to cover the computer, the whole, I'll do one quick skim. It's got a bunch of different conditional branches depending on what variables are active, and this variable becoming active once you accept the quest. Like if it's already active, it'll say you've already accepted this quest. And if else, you have 0 new messages. I've got some work to do with that. There's not a lot in here, but you know, it's being finished. It's in the process of being made. Hillary is kind of the same deal. Notice the stairs put you into this box so that you have to touch that similar event. And going out into the main hub world, it's a similar thing right here. This is actually the only house in this fictional neighborhood, I guess, where it's one guy living here in 3 stores. What kind of neighborhood? Sitting there, and then it's the same kind of deal, but this has scrolling the map and waiting for the text to come up so that it's all a very nice appearance. And then going into making a shop is as simple as, you know, general store, hex is there, and then you just do shop processing, which is, I think it's on page 3, and you do like shop processing, and then you just put whatever you want to buy in the shop. It's such an easy system. It's very, very fun to do also, because it's so creative. You're so open to be creative. Quest 1, I don't think, did I have anything I was going to cover here? As far as the doors being locked and then unlocked, you duplicate the door, and you make event 1 that it just says locked, and event 2 is the normal door, but you put a requirement on it that says has item, like house key. And so the last thing we're going to go over before we talk about the engine itself and if it's good or bad is the master ship poster. Now this event, touching it, will set the variable that, now this variable, ms1 approach, is master ship poster approach, and then self switch A will be on so that we can't interact with this anymore, which will make it, priority below characters so that it's just completely out of the way. And so this event is currently set up to go if ms approach is on. So you see how it kind of works out. Once we reach that point and collide with that, that puts those events in motion, giving the appearance that, like, it's a very, very, it looks simple, and it is simple, you know what I mean? And so you do battle processing, and then after the battle processing, you put whatever takes place after the battle here, like self switch A, and he's just gone because you killed him. Why would you kill that man? You're just trying to destroy the viewbot. And then after that, once we change, armor, I actually should have shown myself equipping the GPU. But yeah, after returning home, transfer back to the bedroom, and do, quest 1 active off and the approach off so that these events can be repeated. But now that I think about it, I think he might actually stay dead if we go back, so I'm going to have to toy with that and debug and see what's going on. This event right here is to kind of dim the room green that we saw. Whoops, not new. I'm going to go to edit so I can show. See, it gives it the kind of green tint as you're going deeper into the house, you know what I mean? Okay, but yeah, that's Barn Door Quest at the moment. When this is finished, I plan putting it on, I want to see if I can ideally get it on the KBMOD website once I learn how to put it into a web browser so that anyone can play it at any time, but actually, I haven't told anyone about this, so it might not ever work. If that's the case, then I can look for it on Steam, I guess. I don't know. So let's talk more about RPG Maker MV. As you can see, if you've played RPG Maker VX Ace at all, this is looking very, very familiar. This does not do a whole lot different from VX Ace. Don't take this as a bad thing, but this feels a lot like VX Ace HD Remastered Edition. There's like one huge gripe I have, where up here there is no more Resource Manager. In VX Ace, you could open up Resource Manager, and all of your resources were laid out in front of you, and you can import and make things transparent. You'll know what I'm talking about if you played it, but if you haven't, it kind of sounds like nonsense. That's not there anymore. You actually have to go to Game, then Open Folder. And you kind of have to get your hands dirty going through all this, making characters, and you have to actually, if you've been using Paint all this time and then, making the white transparent, you have to find another image editing software to actually to delete it, you know what I mean? It's no longer selecting an image and then, cropping or hueing, it's just putting it in the folder of the game. So that's not as convenient as RPG Maker VX Ace. I'm not really sure why it's like that. It doesn't seem like a very smart decision to just remove that helpful feature, but who cares. There is a plugin manager. That alternate menu that we had was as simple. I'm going to delete this so I can show you. Plugins are put in. It's RPG Maker supports JavaScript now. So once you make a plugin with JavaScript, which I have no idea how to do that. You put in the games folder. And from your list of plugins, like Enemy, like a Bestiary, or Alternate Save Screen, I didn't really use any of these aside from Alternate Menu Screen, and then just put Status On, and it's so simple. There is no more click button and have a giant list of scripts for how the game works and everything. It's very, very simple. It's much more simple, but, honestly, I can't really talk about this too much because I don't really know a lot about coding for this. Scripting, I don't know the code, the language, you would say. But yeah, so let's do a final verdict. RPG Maker MV is on Steam right now for $80. Now, is it worth it? To be honest, yes and no. If you plan on making a game and releasing it, to a competitive market of releasing video games, you're going to want to have a convenient and good-looking software. This is much more good looking without a restricted resolution size. You can make games in 1080p compared to VX Ace, which had a restricted resolution, and if you've messed around with RPG Maker games before, you know how much of a hassle it is to start up a game, and then your monitor just kind of goes crazy as it figures out what resolution it is. I tried to play the game Bird Story, which is a very popular RPG Maker game, And it's just completely, well, not completely ruined, but it's very different when you got huge black borders on the screen, but I can't really bash that too much. They did the best for what they were given, but RPG Maker MV, you don't really have that problem. And aside from that, as well as things like being able to go into and change the terms for skills being called memes, and changing the messages without having to get your hands dirty with scripting, going into types, and you can make as many types of equipment as you want. All this stuff is very cool, but there are a lot of things that people have been asking for a long time that haven't been added and are still reliant on people making plugins or scripts you can download. For example, two things that I really want are like a quest menu system and like a skill tree kind of deal. And those are things that many people have wanted, but the answer for those like requests is still to see if you can either find a plugin that someone else made or learn how to script yourself, which is there's no huge revelation in code. There's no huge big deal in this that'll make you go, oh my gosh, it's like a whole new way to make RPG Maker games. But no, it's just as capable as it's always been, and it's better than VX Ace in that it's good looking. But there aren't a lot of games that you can make in RPG Maker MV that you couldn't make in VX Ace. So as of right now, I would go with the cheaper option if you haven't messed with RPG Maker before. Go with VX Ace, play the demo, and see what you think, see if it's something for you, and if you like it, then go for it. This is so much fun. If you like VX Ace, going over to MV, you are not going to have a bigger learning curve from VX Ace, and there are countless tutorials out there to tell you what to do, and you could watch the tutorials on KBMOD that are coming out soon, but yeah, I would go with the cheaper option, see if you like it, and then upgrade to MV. MV does feel like a step up, but it doesn't feel like a whole different evolution, I guess you'd say. But yeah, that's going to be it for RPG Maker MV. Personally, I feel like I'm going to be sinking a ton of my time into this, because it's fun making this. It's very open-ended. Before I played with RPG Maker, I was very skeptical of game making tools like this. I felt like it was going to be restrictive. I felt like it was going to, for example, this game you can make your own shooter, and you only have guns, like certain modern guns, and I can't really explain it that well. I'm not that good at this. But RPG Maker is not very restrictive at all. It's open to whatever you want to do. The tile sets are much more beautiful than VX Ace. They're a lot more varied and colorful, and that's always a huge plus. There's a whole new kind of science fiction tile set that came with it. The resources that come with the engine are very good, but you can still import your own. But yeah, that's gonna do it. That's all I have to say for now. So, would I recommend RPG Maker MV? Absolutely yes. It's a ton of fun. If you've wanted to make an RPG before, if you've ever wanted to dabble in video game making, this is probably one of the best ways to start. Well, that and maybe Game Maker. So yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to go to KBMOD.com for all the very best, absolutely award-winning game reviews, and probably the best podcast since the Dick Van Dyke Show, to be quite honest with you. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.